Good morning, everyone. My name is Sarah, and in today's class, we're going to take an introductory look at graphic design and desktop publishing. This is part one. Part two will be on August 25th. That's a Tuesday at 6 p.m. So just look for the link to that program at 6 p.m. on the 25th. The link will, of course, just like this link, it will be on our Facebook page in the event listing. In this class, we're going to just take an overview look at Microsoft Publisher, Canva, and GIMP, and then in the second part, we're going to take a much closer look at Canva and really play around with that. It's a lot of fun, and I think you'll enjoy it. So let's get started. Microsoft Publisher is a desktop publishing application or program. Desktop publishing is the production of printed matter by means of a printer linked to a desktop computer with special software. The system enables reports, advertising matter, company, magazines, etc. to be produced cheaply with a layout and print quality similar to that of typeset books or professional reproductions of things. Publisher is similar to Word, except that it places the emphasis on page layout and design rather than writing text and proofreading. You can use templates to design your document, or you can customize a template, or you can even design one from scratch. And you can use Publisher to create things like brochures, newsletters, posters, business cards, photo books, edit photos, email newsletters, etc. At the bottom of this page, you can see some of the examples of the things that I either made or that are available as templates through Microsoft Publisher. So I do want to go into Publisher and just show you the interface. That's one of the things I'm going to be showing you, but we're going to do some new. Now, as you open up the application, you'll notice that it looks really familiar to you if you're familiar with Microsoft Word or Excel even, which is, we've done other classes in that. Typically, there are templates available, and you do need to be hooked up to your internet for that. But let's just look at a new blank document and we can look at the screen here. So here you have your ribbon, just like in Microsoft Word, and then all of your different menu options. Okay, and if you want to, let's do a text box, let's say. I'm just going to open one up. You can use all of these formatting tools. You can even come up here where it says drawing tool and change what the box looks like. You could even change the color. You can outline it or fill it. Let's fill it blue. You can change the shape. Let's see, make it there you go. Or really you can do just about anything with it that you want. You can rotate it, move it around. So many options. And then as far as the text goes, now in the position it's in right now, the text is going to go up. So let's show you the day. I think we better make that a little bigger. It's only a 10-point font. Let's make it 48. There you go, you can see that. But if you go up here again to rotate, you can put it back the way you want it so that you can at least read it. Although that kind of a feature can be really helpful if you want to do a border on something. And then, oops, let's move this over here. See how it can line up nicely? And then you can have more information here. Depends what you want. You can also insert shapes and photos. You can take them from online. You can take them from your files. Let's see. I won't go into that, but I will pull up a photo that I have worked on. Here's an example of a photo and the way it really looks quite crisp and clear. Let me zoom in a little bit so that you can see that photo. Perhaps I zoomed in too far. There we are. But you can see how nice and clear that photo is. and then you can go ahead and work on your photos as well. So we're going to click out of that. I'm not going to save it. Leave that one down there. But I don't know if you can see that this photo is the one that I just showed you. And the interface will look very familiar, like I said, to Microsoft Word or some of the other Microsoft applications. The thing you always want to keep in mind when really designing anything is you need to think about the publication. You should really have an idea of how you intend to use it once it's finished. Is it going to be a flyer? Is it going to be a brochure? Is it going to be in the newspaper? Is it going to be in a magazine? Will it be online through social media? How will you print it if you're printing it, and how will you distribute it then? If you need to put an address on it, let's say you're making a postcard and you want just one side to have the information you need and the other side to have your return address, that kind of thing. You just want to keep these things in mind. You know, are you going to publish it online? Are you going to hand it out, put up posters, etc.? Once you know how you plan to present your publication, you can start making decisions about aspects like page layout, paper choice, and print options. So the three basic things you want to keep in mind when creating something through Publisher, but also in general, is the size. So some publications like flyers can be large or small. However, you probably don't want a poster size brochure, so you really do need to consider the paper size. Your paper, standard sheet of paper is 8.5 by 11, but in Publisher you can make it any size you want, really. The size paper can be used for a number of documents, but you want to carefully consider before you commit to a size, because once you decide on that and you begin creating your publication, any changes that you might make in the size of the page or the orientation of the page will mean that you'll have to change what is inside the document. You'll have to reformat that. You want to consider your orientation or paper orientation. Do you want it landscape, which is wider than tall, or portrait, which is taller than wide? Some suit needs better than others. You want to consider your margins. You don't want to make your margins too narrow because often that will not print. Most printers, office printers, and also professional printers will have standard margin widths that you're going to have to comply with in order to print your documents successfully. When you're customizing your publication, whether you choose to create a publication from a template or from a blank page, you may decide to change the layout a little bit. Keep in mind the three main components: the size, margins, and orientation. These can all be customized to suit your needs, but be careful if your publication already contains objects like text boxes and things like that, images and shapes, as you'll need to adjust these to fit your new layout. Page size can also be changed to suit your needs. So if you want to make a flyer and a poster, or if you need to change orientation on things, then you can go ahead and do that and customize things. You'll just have to play around a little bit with the objects within the document. Documents and photos can be converted to shareable images that can be used for social media campaigns and email lists. Other desktop publishing applications include Microsoft Word. Microsoft Word is perfectly adequate, but it's not quite everything that you need. Depends how detailed you want to get, how professional you want your things to be. There's something called Scribus, LucidPress, Jumag, and Canva. And we'll go over Canva a little bit today and then more in our next class. All right, I do want to show you some examples. And here's one. This is a newsletter format that I just kind of did a quick mock-up of. Newsletters are great for businesses, or if you are not-for-profit and you want to send information about the programs that you have and the information that you have available to those who are making use of your business. These are also great for any personal mailings that you want to do. A lot of people like to make print newsletters, especially around Christmas time. And you can get into, multi-page formats, or you can just do a one-page document. This is an example of a two-page, well, actually it would be 4 pages because you'd fold this in half and have the top, and then the inside pages, and then the outside page. And this is pretty easy. I just put in text boxes and the photo, and then typed in some text and put in a shape. And let me see if I can find it. I will open it up here so you can see the publisher version of it. And let's zoom in just a little bit to make this a little larger. Oops, that's a little too big. All right, there we go. And as we look at it and I click on things, I'm just going to text box. So let's do our picture. I've got our picture highlighted here, and this is just one that it's a stock photo. It's not something that I took, but I thought it was pretty. If you wanted to change the style on your photo, first let me tell you how to get a photo on the page. So you go to Insert, and I believe I took this from online. So if I go to Pictures Online, and we'll do Bing. They come up with a bunch of different things. I think I put in ocean, so let's see if I put in ocean if I get, oops, you have to spell it correctly. I kind of knew what I was talking about. And here you have a bunch of different options that you can use. You just see if the one that I chose is here. It should be, because this is where I got it. Well, I'll just pick that one and change it. And there it shows up on your page. So you can go ahead and change the size of it to fit whatever you would like. So if I'm going to make it fit this size, what I might do is move this image over here just to, oops, well, it's behind it now. Let's move this back. I'm going to undo because that is really the simplest thing to do. You can see that that's still a little bigger, so you want to just play around with it. As you put it in place, that other picture is still back there, just so you know. But it might change the layout. See, if I move it around, it changes where the text is, and now the text is not all there. So that's what I was talking about before. If you decide to change your format a little, you're going to have to be careful of what else is on your page. Sometimes if, let's say, I put in right here, but I want to make that sentence, let's put a period and a space, I want to make that a lot larger. So I'll just show you how it can shift things. Now do you see the sun that I had here? How it kind of changed, just so you know that sun is in the background. So it can be, I need to change the arrangement on my box, but I won't do that right now. You can see how the text affected where the sun is and what it does to the words on the screen or on your page. So you want to just be careful of that. Let's go ahead and undo that again. We'll take that out. You see how much cleaner that is with the sun where it is? Okay. All right, so I did change this photo, but I'm just going to get rid of it, and the photo underneath it is still there. And I'm just going to save this again so that I have it to come back to. Now, if you have any questions about what I was just doing, I know I went kind of quickly. If you have questions, just call me, and I'm happy to show you. Right now, you can come into the library as of today for 60-minute appointments on the computer. You just call and sign up, and when you come in, you can go on and play with Microsoft Publisher because our computers have that. If you do have questions, you're welcome to just ask me. I'm happy to help you. Now here's an example of a poster that I built using, again, those stock photos. I think I showed that to you before. The first one I made looked like this, and this is an example of how you can change the orientation. And this would be good as a flyer, I think, or even as a poster. You could use either. And that's just the image that I took. I inserted an online picture. I think it's right. It's in here. I did back to school. I clicked on that, and then I selected a back to school image and inserted it. And then I just typed up this text box, and I did a little bit of formatting on the text box so that you could see it when I clicked off. But this is the one that I also made using similar graphics, just to show you that orientation will change how things look on a page. Okay, if I go back to this one and I want to change this document page design, let's say I wanted to change it to landscape, see what it does to the information that we had. It doesn't fit any longer, and you really do need to rebuild it. Okay, close that up. And then this one, I just did for fun. I was playing around with the different options available, and some of the textures and different things you can do to your background. Again, I would recommend that you just spend some time playing around with it. It's a lot of fun. And see, in the drawing tools here, let me see. You can change the effect. You can see that these letters have a little bit of a shadow on them, and that's one of the options. I just put in, time for class, sun, day to dark is really what I was getting at here with the sun and the moon. That class is all day long in life, but I guess that's neither here nor there. It's just an example of something that you can do for fun to play around with Publisher. I wanted to show you about editing, a little bit about editing a photo. I don't know if you've ever done any photo editing. It's really not difficult. You just need to, all right, I'm going to click on the photo, and up here, okay, can you see that it doesn't say formatting up here anywhere? Once you click on the photo, the Picture Tools format will come up, and click on that, and then you can change it however you want. Here, I put a shadow behind it, which makes it look like it's standing out from your page. You can put a frame on it. You can, put different types of frames on it so that it looks different each time. Let's click on that again. You can change the border. Let's say I want my border to be bright red. I can go ahead and do that. The effects, some of that's up here. That's sort of your quick reference. If you wanted to do a bi-level, that's kind of an interesting thing. It's hard to see on this photo. Let's take that border off. No outline. Looks like we have some other things here. Take that off. All right, let's undo. I'm just going backwards to get to the original photo. There we go. Oh, still have the shadow behind it. Let's see some other things. Like I said before, you can rotate it. You can correct the shading of it. Let's say it's a little too bright. There's a sun glare. You can change how dark it is. Sometimes you want your image to be more faded or muted so that you can put a text box over it. Let me show you what I mean. Insert a text box, draw a text box. I'm just going to put Saturday on there. And let's change the size to 48 so it's really prominent. And I'm going to then, right here in the alignment area, you can click on centering that on your photo. So it's dead center. So when I go over here to format and corrections, if the photo were really dark, you couldn't really see that. And once you fade it out, you can see it clearly. All right, so you can see that effect just by changing the shading or the brightness. If I made it really bright, it would be, that actually hurts my eyes to look at. I don't know about you. I can also recolor it. I can make it, let's take off that brightness and just kind of make it muted again. And then to recolor it, I can change it to be black and white or kind of a sepia tone effect. That's more of a blue-gray and so on. And it gives you a number of variations that you can use. Here are some that you can just go ahead and change. You know, if you know what color specifically you want to use, you can put that information in. So that's one way to photo edit. Let's look at cropping. As I click on the image itself and I go back up to format, you can see where it says crop. And you get that kind of a diamond and cross shape. And if you click on it, you can then change how much of the picture you have showing. So if I wanted just the ocean and none of the seagrass, then I can go ahead and crop it, and now you have a completely new look. Okay. And let's click on that and format. You can also clear the crop. If you don't care for what you've done, you can crop it into a shape like that, just by selecting the shape that you prefer. That's kind of fun, especially if you're making like a photo album of something, but it can also be handy for a publication. You can change it into an arrow, you can change it into whatever they have an option for. All right, so that's sort of how you do some of the photo editing. Now, let's take a quick look at Canva. I'm going to show you a little bit by going into Canva as well, just like I did with Publisher. Let me just look and see what I have here and see if there's anything else. Nope, sorry about that. All right, so we're just going to stay with this. Canva, it might seem like you need to be an expert and have all kinds of specialized applications and resources just to create one custom graphic. Adobe Photoshop for photo editing, Adobe InDesign to produce your layout, multiple stock photos, and special filters. But Canva pretty much combines all of these editing and publishing tools, and they have a collection of templates that really is so very helpful. Microsoft Publisher also has templates, and those didn't really show up. I think I did show some of them here in this picture. This is a template, so is this. I created some of the other things, but a lot of these are just templates that you can easily use, and you can customize them. But Canva is a little bit more straightforward. So 6 basic steps to create visual content. Begin with your intended purpose. Begin with your intended purpose for your publication. Like I said before, you need to know exactly how you're going to use the information. Is it going to be a wedding invitation, a notice for a bake sale, a newsletter, a poster? And what is it that you are identifying in your content goals? platform that you'll use to best suit them. For example, if your primary objective is to let people know about a public fundraising event, you'll want to create print media and social media posts in order to draw the most people in. In this example to the right, the image can either be a poster, a postcard, or a social media post to share on Facebook. I did create this on Canva, and I'll show it to you when we kind of take a look at what their application looks like. So browse through the templates to find and create the right content, or create your own design. You can take a template and modify it. You can also go straight from scratch. And then you find the photos you want to use, or you upload your own. It depends what you're doing. Next, create the text that you want to be displayed in your project. In the example on this page, there are 2 text boxes in use. This one, and then the smaller one inside. The template is the image of the laptop computer. The photo is one I uploaded, and the little icons are called elements. The one of the thumbs up right here, I don't know if you can see it, right there where my cursor is. It actually moves when it's on social media. That thumb pops up. You can use filters and transparency options to enhance your image. And in the second version of the design, I muted the background. So I did do 2 versions. This is the one with the muted background. Then you can either print flyers or posters. You can also download things and post them to social media, whatever you're looking to do. And there are a number of free tutorials right on the Canva site. So play around with the application and create some beautiful designs. Really spend some time looking at, oops, sorry about that. Here are some examples of things that I have created or others have created at the library on Canva. This one's right on our website. I use this when I'm posting storytime programs. This one is an old poster that I made. It was really one of my first ones that I made when I started teaching the tech classes. And then, I just played around with it and did some cards. This is also something that I've posted on our webpage. So let's go ahead and take a look at Canva. When you open Canva, you're going to need to form an account. It is free. Just go ahead and fill in your information. If you have a Gmail account, it really makes it a lot faster. Just type in your Gmail account and your Gmail account password, and you get right into Canva. So I am going to click on this and show you a bunch of the designs, things that I've done either for this program or for work itself. Most of these are just things that I produced to play with. But here you can see the variety of things that you can produce. There's that dog again. Here's an early version of what our website looked like, and it was quickly changed because it was difficult to read that. And then, yep, some cards, some folks that I wanted to send things to. This is a template of a newsletter, and I just filled in the dog photo. So let's go to our home page, and right here you can see a number of templates. And I'm just going to go, let's just go to a Facebook post quickly. We'll do a lot more of this when we are together for our next class. But let's say you want to just put some summer fun photos up. You can click on that, and I just clicked on it again. That will bring up the template, and then on the left side you'll see it will fill in with a bunch of different things, a bunch of different options that you have. One of them is that elements section, and here you can find all the cute little things you can add to your design. Here's one of an ice cream cone, and remember I said before that the thumbs up kind of popped up. Well, here's the ice cream cone jumping around. You can just add that to your page. Kind of fun. All right, so that's a quick look at Canva. If you want to come in and play with it before the next class, you can also make an appointment and come in, sign up for the library, just create an account with Canva and go ahead and play with it. Sorry about that. Okay, here we have that design that I told you about, and there's the thumbs up that just kind of pops up. It's a lot of fun to play around with this. So I was saying that you just feel free to come in and play around with things, start designing, and then we'll go over it some more in our next class. Right. Now, GIMP is a free photo editing application. GIMP stands for GNU, or GNU, Image Manipulation Program. GIMP is a cross-platform image editor available for Windows and other operating systems, and it is free. You, of course, can change it or upgrade it so that it is, you have some more options, but for the most part, it is free. Whether you're a graphic designer, photographer, illustrator, or scientist, GIMP provides you with sophisticated tools to get your job done. You can further enhance your productivity with GIMP thanks to many customization options and third-party plugins. Canva and Publisher both allow you to edit your photos by cropping and resizing, restyling, and more, but you'll be able to really fine-tune your photos the way you would like in GIMP. And if you decide to download this program, there are many tutorials on the site. You will need to understand some basics about photo editing, so these tutorials should give you what you need. Now, I'm not going to open up GIMP because I didn't download that program onto this library's computer, but I have used it. And it's a lot like Adobe Photoshop, so it does take some playing with and some skills, but with patience, I'm sure that you can learn how. Just start playing with it. It's free to download, and what a great way to learn some new skills. I hope you've enjoyed this class and that you have learned something about desktop publishing and graphic design. And as I said, we will tackle more of that in our next class. I hope you enjoy your day, and I'll see you on the 25th. I do want to remind you that I'm always happy to send you copies of my notes. I can either email them to you, so send me an email at si.sarah@4cls.org, and I can go ahead and email these to you. Or I can print them out for you, and you can call and make arrangements to either pick them up at curbside or pick them up inside the library now. Just call us at 563-1200 and make the appointment. All right, we'll see you in our next class.